So in a previous video review, someone asked me to take a look at the QY8 earbuds. I've looked at the QY7 earbuds previously, and this person said that the QY8 is a significant upgrade. So a company reached out to me actually just a couple of days ago and said, hey, would you like to try out the QY8s? Yes, I did. The company I received these from is called COULAX, and I'll put a link to where you can find these down in the video description, but I thought I would just go ahead and open them up for you on camera, hook them up to my phone, give you some initial impressions of them, and maybe use them for a few days before coming back to you. So this is some interesting packaging, I do have to say. It has a lot of Chinese writing on it here, little QR code there on the back that you can scan if you're interested. There you go, that's a little bit closer. What I would assume is a QCY stamp of approval kind of thing. But in this first little box here, which I'm having kind of a difficult time opening, these are the earbuds themselves. These are the QY8 earbuds, kind of similar to the QY7s I reviewed before, but these do Bluetooth 4.1, they do aptX, and they're supposed to be just better all around. But let's go ahead and look at what else comes in the box as well. In this little box, you've got micro USB charging cable, little short one, a few extra silicone tips, and these little silicone dealios that help hold them in place. If they're anything like the QY7, I'm gonna have to use the little flaps that I used on those, but we'll see. And then your little user manual. And it does mention the tech specs right there. It says it should be able to charge in about 2 hours and run for about 5 hours. And actually, taking these apart, it looks like it's got a pretty decently long connection between the two. I would say probably close to 18 inches to 2 feet right there. Sort of hard to see it on camera, sorry. And taking a quick look at the earbuds themselves, here's the charging port. There you go, there's your micro USB charging port. Doesn't appear to have anything else on here. And you have this bit of a weird angle to this. On the other one, I see what looks like a volume up and a volume down button, and the multifunction button right here, which should be the power button as well. So let's push and hold that and see if it does anything. And you see it is flashing blue and red at this point, going back and forth, means it should be ready for Bluetooth pairing. And there on the OnePlus 2, you can see QY8. So we go ahead and tap on that, and it does say connected now. So if you're curious what they sound like, there's a little sample. Put these in and see. That's got some kick to it. That's got a lot of bass to it. Yeah, that's not bad. A little bit bass heavy. Here you go. Again, I normally just end up using those couple of songs. I'm gonna have to put some more other selections into my repertoire. Yeah, that didn't sound bad at all. Whoa! I just turned on the effects on the OnePlus 2. That had some kick to it. All right, so quick first impressions. They've definitely got a decent amount of bass to them. These are gonna be problematic just like the previous ones, but putting them in and sort of twisting them, they definitely don't feel bad. I'm not gonna say they would stay in on a run or anything, but for sitting around, for walking, things like that, these are gonna do just fine. And next up, I think I do actually have to take them out and run with them and see how they do. Well, as you can probably tell from my cleanly shaven face, it is quite a bit later at this point. It's actually been several weeks, maybe even a month since I did the earlier part of this video. However, I wanted to come back at you and tell you a little bit more about the QY8 headphones. I've used these for running at the gym several times. Haven't had the opportunity to take them outside and run because it has been very, very cold. However, at the gym, they worked absolutely fine. They have a lot of great sound, a lot of good bass to them. They say they're supposed to last for about 8 hours at a time. I obviously do not spend 8 hours at a time in the gym, so this has been just fine for me. But the one thing I will say about them, and I'll say this about every single one that come with the little ear tip attachments, the little pieces that are supposed to push up in here to hold against your ear, they never work well for me. So I ended up using these ear hooks. These are little, it's like a $10 set of adapters. I mentioned them on the QY7 video I did a while back. I've used these on basically every pair of sport earbuds I've got that don't have the over-ear component, and they work beautifully on them. On these, it's a little bit hard to get them to go on there and to get them to stay on, but it definitely gets the job done. I was able to run for a half an hour at a time with no problems with the ear hooks on. So I'm obviously not a long distance runner, not a really long distance. But still, with these ear hooks in place, these have been able to do an excellent job for me. I can only imagine upgrading the tips to something like foam tips would definitely provide more sound isolation and make the sound even better. So that might be another good, interesting upgrade for these. They have relatively large ear tips. They're, I would say, probably 4 millimeters, 4.5. So hopefully the foam tips that I've got will actually work on these. Other than the included floppy ear tip things not working appropriately and the ear hooks working infinitely better, the one sort of complaint I would have about these is just the same one that I had about the QY7, and that's the amount of cord between them. Meaning when you put these around your neck and you put them in your ears, you've got a lot of slack. That's usually a good thing because it means you can move your neck from side to side. But once you've got these in there and you're running, this is gonna flap around a lot. When I was running with these, they actually flapped a little bit less than the QY7s did, but not a whole lot. Basically because I was not running outside, I didn't get exactly the same experience. But when I've run with the QY7, the previous generation of these in the past, taking a simple rubber band and just attaching it right here, wrapping it around and around again to get all of this excess slack away, and it just sort of holds it down, means that these stay firmly in your ears, and then that excess slack just goes out of the way. You can actually tuck it into your shirt if you want to. So with them like that, I definitely can recommend them, but a lot of it's gonna depend on whether or not you prefer to have the over ear. Personally, I would definitely prefer to have something that goes over your ear, around your ear to hold it in place better. But in a pinch, these definitely do get the job done. The last 2, 3, 4 times that I've run at the gym, I've run only with either with these or with a pair similar to them, not with ones that go over ear, and I have had no problems whatsoever. So I will put a link down in the description to where you can find these over on Amazon. They're about 26 bucks. I just checked right there. I will not tell you how they work as far as the microphone goes because I just do not use these for making phone calls. I think that's kind of silly, but to each their own. So if you want to use them for that, I'm sure they're not going to be very, very good. They're not going to be any better than the mic that's built into your phone. Just going to say it. But they provide Bluetooth 4.1, aptX, and a decent amount of battery life at 8 hours. And I think I've only had to charge these once so far in the multiple times I've taken them running. Thumbs up for me. Good quality. I love them. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Links to where you can find these will be found down in the video description. Remember to subscribe to receive more of these videos when they become available, and everything that I make videos about, of course. And we will see you again in the very next video. Bye, guys.